Sometimes life brings us to a crossroads where our dreams feel larger than ourselves, and the distance between our words and actions stretches impossibly far. Tonight, I want you to imagine stepping into the shoes of someone who carries dreams like stars. Bright, endless, always out of reach. You might recognize yourself in this story, or someone close to you. Listen closely, because every line carries a heartbeat and a lesson. And by the end, you may find that this story was meant for you. Let's begin in Chicago, Illinois, a city shaped by ambition, hard work, and the roaring wind off Lake Michigan. In a quiet apartment overlooking a busy street lives Emily Foster, a 29-year-old American woman with courage in her eyes and hesitation in her heart. If you met Emily at a party, you'd remember her bright smile and how quickly she made people laugh. You'd hear her talk about her big plans, the book she wants to write, the business she hopes to launch, and the travels she's constantly dreaming of. People admire Emily for her ideas and enthusiasm, but if you stayed long enough, you'd notice something else. Emily's promises are always about tomorrow, about someday. For as long as she could remember, Emily was the planner. In high school, she scribbled goals in the margins of her notebooks, a list of things she wanted to achieve before she was 30. The world told her she was destined for greatness, and Emily believed it. Yet as adulthood arrived, life became complicated. Bills, rent, caring for her aging mother, keeping up with old friends. All these responsibilities grew heavier, slowly pushing her dreams aside. Still, Emily never stopped talking about her plans. She attended workshops and conferences, took online courses, subscribed to productivity channels. Every January, she filled journals with resolutions. This is the year I start my novel. This is the year my bakery opens. This is the year I go to Italy. But somehow, as each year wound to a close, the lists remained untouched. Dreaming was easier than doing, and Emily found comfort in the future. Just wait, she'd tell herself. Soon everything will fall into place. Her friends cheered Emily on at first. They celebrated her vision and encouraged her to try new things. But time passed, and the same stories kept repeating. I'm going to launch my website next month, she'd tell them. Soon, I'll finally write the first chapter. Eventually, the cheers turned into gentle warnings. Emily, why don't you just start? Why not do a little now? Emily smiled, nodded, promised she would. But deep inside, she was afraid. Afraid that her actions wouldn't live up to her dreams. Afraid of judgment, and sometimes of failure. One rainy Saturday night, as Emily sat by her window, watching the city lights shimmer through droplets, she felt a nagging sense of emptiness. Her social media feeds flashed with old classmates and colleagues, people who quietly built small businesses, published articles, took trips, ran marathons. Emily tapped through the photos and stories, wishing that she, too, could be proud of something she'd actually done. Suddenly her phone buzzed. It was a message from her former college professor, Dr. Harris. Emily, will you be at the alumni event next week? I'm excited to hear about your projects. Emily froze. She thought about their last meeting when she told Dr. Harris about her plans for a memoir. She wanted to reply with a list of updates, but realized she hadn't written a single page. Shame welled up inside her. That night, Emily couldn't sleep. Unable to quiet her mind, Emily wandered into her living room, searching for something, anything to distract herself. On her bookshelf, a small plaque caught her eye. It was a gift from a mentor given years ago, the words carved in bold letters. You can't build a reputation on what you are going to do. She stood in silence, letting the words sink in. For all these years, she had confused potential for progress, vision for achievement. Emily had become an expert at making promises, but her actions lagged behind. She realized then, reputation isn't built on intention, it's built on effort, even imperfect effort. The realization stung, but it also set Emily free. She didn't need to wait for inspiration or perfect conditions. She needed to replace going to with doing. In that late-night solitude, Emily made a promise, not to her friends, not to her family, but to herself. She would act. The next morning, Emily set her alarm early. She brewed coffee, opened her laptop, and for the first time in years, wrote the first paragraph of her book. It wasn't perfect. The words stumbled across the page, raw and uncertain. But they were there. She shared her attempt with a writers' group online. Some people loved it. Others offered advice. The important part was that Emily took a step. As days passed, she fell into a rhythm, writing a little before work, jotting story ideas on her phone during commutes, carving out time on weekends. Emily stopped telling people what she would do and started showing them what she was doing. She posted snippets of her writing online. Her small circle of readers grew. One friend asked to illustrate her children's story. Another offered editing tips. The act of doing connected her to opportunities and people she had only dreamed of before. Emily's confidence grew. She realized most of her fears were ghosts, disappearing the moment she acted. When she made mistakes, she learned. When she felt stuck, she celebrated herself for trying. Progress replaced procrastination as her new language. Eventually, Emily set up a website where she shared her journey, her struggles, her successes, her unfinished drafts. Visitors sent messages from around the world. A publisher in Seattle emailed, interested in her children's book. Emily was stunned. She hadn't made a grand announcement. She simply started working, and the world responded. Meanwhile, Emily embraced doing in other areas of her life. She started a small baking club, teaching neighbors how to make bread and pastries. She took her mother out for art classes, watched the way painting brought happiness to both of them. Emily stopped waiting for the right moment to travel, booking a weekend trip to a small town she had always wanted to visit. Her reputation slowly shifted. People referred to her as someone who gets things done, shares what she's working on, follows through. The old doubts were still there, but now Emily met them with action, one step at a time. In time, Emily understood a deep truth. Everyone loves a dreamer, but they trust a doer. Those who take small, brave steps forward, no matter how messy, become examples for others. And reputation, that invisible legacy, is quietly constructed by what we build, not by what we promise. I want you to know that hearing Emily's story changed me. It reminded me to stop hiding behind plans and start living them. For a long time I said, I'm going to try, I'm going to start, I'm going to learn. None of that changed my story until I took the first step. The journey was harder than I thought, but infinitely more rewarding. If you're listening right now, I want you to hear this very clearly. Dreams have power, but only if you act on them. Reputation isn't a monument you build in your imagination, but a bridge you lay one brick at a time through real choices, real efforts, and real growth. Don't let your story be one of going to, transform it into doing. Show the world what you can become, not what you intend. Let me remind you, you can't build a reputation on what you are going to do. This story is for you. Whatever goal sits quietly in your heart, whatever gift you keep for someday, start now. Let people remember you by what you actually do, not the plans that never leave your mind. Your reputation begins the moment you decide to act, and every single day after that.